Hi everybody, so I'm doing another one of these training videos without anyone here because no one's here. So I'm trying to do this using laptop so you guys can see stuff. So GCPL actually just got 2 decks donated to us, 2 VHS decks, and one of these monitors, right? CRT monitor, and some cables, and then another thing that I want to show you. So they also donated this to us, which you guys are not going to use pretty much ever. I'm keeping it because I love this kind of technology, and it makes me feel like I'm on the Enterprise. But basically what it was used for is if you had 2 decks, let's say, you would hook them up to this editing controller, and then you would use a monitor, and basically this is how people edited. So this is using a linear editing process as opposed to what we do now, which is non-linear editing process. So you can like drag and drop things and kind of be like, I want this here, and test it out and see how it is. Whereas back in the day, you would have to use one of these to be like, I'm taking this portion on this tape and putting it onto and editing just that portion onto a tape. So you'd have to do it in that order. So you'd have to like edit in order onto your final tape from one tape or multiple tapes. Many times there were multiple decks going into your one final deck. I don't know, Google it. But anyway, I'm using this for educational purposes to show people, because this stuff isn't around and very much at all, and it's pretty, and I think it makes you appreciate the non-linear editing system that we're working with now, but it really goes to show how time-based media originally started, and especially videotape. So anyway, I wanted to show you that. So that's something, if you guys get, just let them know that unless you guys want to hang on to it for educational purposes too, but like I'm the super nerd that does a lot of like other types of like broadcasting history stuff, so I'm hanging on to that for those reasons, and I don't really think for a memory lab that you guys are going to have to do that. So that would be something I'd be like, we're not going to take that. So I just want to show you guys like how to do some the amazing webinar that was recorded for the first cohort goes through a lot of this, but like I'll just show you like my very quick edition of testing out donations. So the first thing you always want to do is test out the power. I've got power here. So, I turned on all the decks, plugged them in, turned them on. They at least turn on. Woohoo, check. So then for the CRT monitor, I started there and I looked in the back because I'm like, okay, what kind of power cord do I need? And I don't have the kind of power cord that I need for this one, so I can't even test it right now. I'm also disappointed because it just has a BNC composite in, so we would only ever be able to test that. And since we're using CRT monitors for troubleshooting, our SVHS decks as well. This one, I'm not gonna like send this one out to you guys, but I would keep something like this for the future. You never know when you might need something like this, and these tubes are hard to find. So I'm going to try and find the correct power source. I'm sure we have something somewhere, but for right now, it's sort of like this one's going to get, I evaluated it, it's going to get kind of put to another pile to deal with another day. This deck here turns on. What I did was I also took a look at the back, which I'm going to move this around so you can see it. You're not going to be able to read anything, but I basically like looked and I'm like, okay, those are RCA for our audios, and then we've got BNC for our video. So, and I'm not seeing any S video. I'm going to keep it around definitely if it works, and even if it doesn't for parts. I have to look up this model and see if it would play, because it just, the front looks a little bit more fancy, but I don't see anything that would really indicate that it wouldn't play slower speeds unless it was older and just didn't have that capability. Now, the second deck that we had, I'm evaluating the front. This is the second deck. And also I could look at the models, which that one is an AG6500. Go into the back of it, found the same stuff, basically. There is a little bit of difference with this dub here, which was used for making copies. But I'm not, and there's some extra like remote and TV connect, but it's basically this BNC. It's not no S video, and then no balanced audio either. It's just RCA. So in order to test this deck, I decided to hook it up to a working CRT monitor, and I put a tape in it, and nothing happened. So I am pressing play because the tape is inside. I've already put it in there. Watch. Oh no. See, then it just stops itself. And it tries to play again. It's making a lot of noises. Sorry about our lights. And then I look over here at the window, and usually these nicer decks can give you, the E stands for error. And if you can't see, it says E, normally the time code's here, E-3. So we looked that up, and it's spooling error. I mean, it was on a forum, so there were actually two options. All right, well, whatever. It's off. So, then I'm going to put this over here. Then, show you the insides. Ooh. Okay. The tape has not been pulled through, so it is a loading problem, and I would see the tape got cut off there. So since it is a tape loading problem, then and it's not like a deck that I would really waste too much time or money fixing. It will just go into our use for parts, and I use painter's tape, and right on top in Sharpie on the painter's tape, not working, E-3, and then I put parts only. So, and then we're also going to contact the donor and see if they want to take it back if we're not going to be actively using it right away. So I'm also putting the donor's name on it so that we don't mix it up, because you're just not going to remember. You're just not, sorry. I'm not. I basically just pulled at different parts, and was able to get the tape out, like salvage the tape, which is good. And basically, we'll have to maybe do a different video. I thought it was still recording, but it's not. And then this other one that I just show you the back of, which I'll show you the front of now. That's an AG6300, Panasonic. I'm sad that I got cut off because I thought I was recording the beginning of this, but so I took this, popped it in. This one needs a little bit of extra zhuzh. Oh yeah, and I also took the BNC cable and the RCA cable and plugged it in the back to the video out, and now it's plugged into our working CRT monitor that I know works, that we already had. Now I'm pressing play, and I plugged it into the A, so it's on A. If I had B selected and it's plugged into A in the back, remember, wanted to have it on the one that you're plugged it into. I hear things and I see things. So stop this for a second. Initially, there was this regular rolling like visual dropout, and I was playing around with buttons on the front and sort of like trying to see if that worked, and got rid of it. And then it just went away, so I'm not sure, and I couldn't like replicate it again. So it could have just been that the video had some dirt in it, dust that worked its way out, and so I'm gonna clean the heads just to like make sure that we try, not just the heads, clean the inside of the deck, to just make sure that we get all the extra dirt out there and it doesn't go on any special tapes. So but that's something too, like just if you see visual dropouts, you can maybe just kind of give it a minute if you're not hearing any squealing or noises. And that was like a regular thing. It was like a pattern, which made me think that it was the video head that is spinning around, and that one of them could have had just a little bit of clog in it. The audio was fine. Wish I could have shown you. Wish I had recorded that. Anyway, yeah, so I know that this deck works, so I'm going to take a piece of tape and write on it that it works, and I put the date, today is 2/18/20, that I tested it, and I have the donor on here as well, and then I put a little note to myself that says heads need cleaning, so that I clean the heads, because I'm not going to do it today. Yeah, but there you go. That's some donations we got in and that I tested, and now know which of these 4 items that were donated, right? One didn't even try to test it because not even part of like what we would need. And the other, the CRT monitor, is I need a working power cord to see if it works. And even then, I'm not sending it out to you guys. I'm just going to use it here for backup parts and stuff. And one deck, both of these decks, VHS decks that got donated, don't have SVHS out, so not super ideal. I need to look into how their speeds are, what speeds they can handle, because in that case, then we could potentially use them if someone has a slower speed tape. But this one we can use for other things and use for potentially when our deck goes down. Just be really transparent to people that it's not as good of a deck if they still want to like keep their appointments and whatnot. Or if you just to know that you will at least have something for the future of your lab should you not be able to repair your deck for one reason or another, that we get you. At least you have something that you know works. And I would, for the ones that do work, I would maybe like set out once a year to get them, plug them in and hook them up to a monitor and put a tape in them and check them. And then also just to get their parts moving so that they stay happy, because they want to keep moving, but not too much. Don't want to clog the heads or overuse the heads. So yeah, that is that. Thanks and good luck.